Speaking to order the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Going on to this to roll call.
Mayor Hine,
Present.
Counselor Johnson,
Present.
Counselor Quaid,
Present.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Present.
and Counselor Jeca is absent tonight.
Okay, first we have the mayoral update. This past Saturday, the council attended the fire department, the Rice Lake Fire Department, awards dinner. It was lovely. It was a very nice event, nice dinner. It was held at Ridgeview. And I wanted to acknowledge those firefighters on the department that were, given awards. So I'm going to list them, and Tony, I will give you a list so that you can post it in minutes. There were response awards. What these awards is acknowledging, a certain percentage of, answered calls out of the total for the year. 30% response award were given to Mark Meany and Carly Hungerford. 40% Brandon Miller, 50% Zach Kovacevic, thank you. Michael Jacob and Tim Peterson. And Sam Horn received an award for 60%, and the chief indicated he was only 2 calls away from 70%. When you think about the number of calls that you had, a record number of calls for the fire department last year, those are some pretty significant numbers. There's also an award that was given that is not given out too often. It's the Golden Stork Award. And I think you can probably figure out what that is for. We heard from our deputy a month or 2 ago that there was an emergency call. And several of our firefighters were there and delivered a baby. So that award went to Sarah Makala, Jamie Bird, Sam Horn, Tim Peterson, Brandon Miller, Michael Jacob, and Gavin Harvick. Then there was also an award for years of service recognition. Tim Peterson and Josh Rowe both have been with the department for 5 years. Kelby Sunquist received an award for 10 years, and Rich Johnson for 35 years. 35 years on the department, pretty impressive. The Rice Lake Fire Department Excellence Award went to Josh Rowe. The Rice Lake Fire Department Rookie of the Year went to Zach Kovacevic. The Rice Lake Fire Department Officer of the Year went to Michael Jacob, and the Firefighter of the Year went to Sam Horn. So congratulations to all of those on the departments, and happy to acknowledge. Moving on, we have public discussion. This is for any items that are not listed on the agenda. Discussion time is limited to 3 minutes per presenter. Or we have Todd here that you want to talk about
Yes.
CDBG. Sorry, Travis.
You're all good, Mayor Heim. Mayor Heim, councilors, thank you so much for having me here. Travis Cooley, Rice Lake resident for the past 2 years, and I was very honored to serve as the Community Development Block Grant representative with St. Louis County this year. St. Louis County received a total of more than $4.6 million in requests across the 4 eligible categories. And to be brief, CDBG funds can fund things like housing projects, community services, other public infrastructure projects such as wastewater or other asphalt projects. And the city of Rice Lake did submit an application to the CDBG program. I'm not sure as of now if the city has been informed of that decision making. As of today, it's my understanding that the county was still waiting on final communications from the federal government before they knew what their total final actual number was for this period. They were estimating 1.6, and depending on if that number is above 10%, they may call us back next week to have a follow-up discussion about any contingency planning for any additional funds. However, at this time, the county has informed us it's fairly certain that the number is going to remain relatively static. So at this time, I don't believe that the City of Rice Lake project met the threshold, but I would certainly encourage the city to continue applying to CDBG. It's a great program opportunity, and I'd love to engage more with the city as a resident and as a transportation professional. In my professional world, I'd love to bring more of that into work with the city to help look at opportunities to, bring more, just more value to the application process. So I'd love to take any questions that you might have. The county, of course, Brad Gustafson is a great resource if we do have any more specific questions, but from the committee's perspective, I'd love to answer any questions I can.
What did you think about our application?
I thought you had a great application. Really, what the root cause or the root of this solicitation in my mind is, when you look at the scope of all of the applications that were received, we had miles and miles of both new wastewater systems and wastewater system lining projects across the county, tons and tons of public service requests, a huge outcry for food shelves, and other services, such as domestic violence assistance and legal counsel assistance to rural St. Louis County. I will say, when you look at where these funds are going, the furthest south, to my knowledge, that the funds were awarded was flood. And so from that perspective, I think that there's a real opportunity in future applications for us to really push this South St. Louis County. We do contribute to this program, and I see an opportunity for us to, take that existing application from this year. And for those who aren't aware, if I may expound, the application was for asphalt pavements for our parking lot at the city park, both the parking lot and then a trail around the perimeter of the existing baseball field. A great project for accessibility, and I certainly did what I could to argue and advocate for this project. Just unfortunately, across the scoring committee, it was not as competitive as some of those other projects. But one question I did have, if I may, I was very interested to know when the last time I saw that the comprehensive plan for the city of Rice Lake, I believe it was last updated in 2020. And I would just like to pose the question, has there been any discussion at the planning commission that the council is aware of about considering an update to the comprehensive plan? Recognize, it seems like a 5-year process if there was one in 2015 and then a 2020. I'd love to, as a citizen, engage with the planning commission and support efforts to, add more to our planning documentation at the city level. I think things like that can ultimately lend themselves very well to future applications. And so I would be curious to know if the comprehensive plan has been discussed at either the council or the commission level. And I apologize for not knowing that already.
No problem. We have not brought it up. We review it yearly. How often do we typically do that? 10 years?
Yeah, so that's what they recommend, is around 10 years.
Yeah. So probably closer to 2030.
Okay. Well, I look forward to continuing to be a Rice Lake resident, and as time gets closer to that, I'd love to, engage in conversations on that note. And again, thank you. It was a real honor to represent the city on that commission. It was a very good group of transportation, or not just transportation professionals, but government service professionals from across the entire county. We really, I feel, did a good job being comprehensive in our review. So.
I served on that committee for a few years and I totally enjoyed it.
It really is a pleasure. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of how grateful I am for the opportunity. So.
Well, we appreciate you volunteering to do so.
Thank you.
Travis.
Would anybody else like to come up and speak?
Sure, Alshire, 4802 Arnold Road, and before I get started, my husband's gonna be yielding his time for me, so if I could just finish what I have, it'd be great, otherwise I will speed read. I am curious of a couple questions. Has the HR committee decided if discipline is warranted in the case of Justin Alshire? If so, when did you decide that? I'm not looking for what is gonna be done. I'm just looking for a yes or a no.
Tara, I cannot discuss that.
Okay, so, because that is information being investigated right now, you're saying that you have no answer?
We are not allowed to confirm or deny who the person is. It is employee A as of right now. The council will be meeting on Thursday.
Yeah.
At that point, the full council will discuss the
Okay.
internal
Well,
course.
did you know that there's a live drive that already told employee A that he is going to be disciplined? I don't know if you knew that.
No.
City administrator leaked that little piece out there saying that the HR committee has come to the decision. Actually, I can read her exact words if you want. The HR committee has come to the determination that there is probable cause for allegations to justify discipline. Below is the description of allegations. This was done about 1 hour after the last meeting where employee A said no comment to all of the ridiculous allegations that came on the amended side of that louder count. So the reason why I ask is because city administrator already outed you that you're gonna fire Justin on Thursday.
That
So-
has not been decided.
City council decides that.
Yeah, and they already did. So, also, when the 49ers video was saved, how come it wasn't saved at the exact time that the whistleblower noted the meeting starting at 7:30 to get the rep entering the building? Can you answer that?
I do not know the answer to that. Tony, do you know the answer to that?
I don't recall what,
Because employee A, who is under retaliation from being a whistleblower, specifically had an email sent that said that the meeting had started at 7:30, yet the actual video was not saved until like 7:36 when the rep was already inside. And that was after Shane Downey opened the door, recognized it was a 49ers, and he said, I have nothing to do with this. So I just want you to know that, but also in that live drive that apparently wasn't recognized, there is some pretty malicious stuff that was added and then deleted that is only in correlation to that specific whistleblower situation. Number 8, are you aware of section 106, personal communications and use of social media in our personnel policy? Did you share the 49er video that you acquired through your employer here at Rice Lake with the Duluth Monitor? What are your intentions with sharing that video? Was it to disrupt the efficiency of the city operations and disrespect your supervisor? Did you share group text messages from your coworkers and supervisor with the Duluth Monitor? What were your intentions with sharing those messages? Was it to be disrespectful to your supervisor and coworker? Were you intentionally trying to harm their reputations? I find that laughable. Because guess who's been trying to harm our reputations for 2 years? I've had CPS called on my family. I have been called a crazy lady. And my husband's job has been threatened 4 louder mills. 4 louder mills. You need to get your city administrator in check because there is an abuse of power. In January of 2024, her pay was at roughly $36 an hour. She is at $56 an hour. That is over a $40,000 raise in 2 years. That is absurd. John Warner never wanted a city administrator, despite what Daryl says in the minutes on some of the meetings where you're talking about her new duties. And under her duties, it is specific that she is supposed to be kind and helpful to citizens. Go back and read her job description. She has been nothing of that to the Alshire family. And I think it needs to be noted. Also, in your new policy manual, under section 2.07, the whistleblower protections. You might want to read that in retaliation, multiple recorded situations where we have told you specifically, how do we get this to stop? I told you on the phone specifically, Jamie, if we could just get an apology and people to admit that they've done wrong, let's call it good. You said, wouldn't that be nice? He did nothing to make that happen. And we have tried and tried and tried again. This is wrong. You know it's wrong. This is retaliation, and it's not just the whistleblower thing. It's hostile work environment.
What are you referring to as far as whistleblower?
The 49er rep coming in to city of Rice Lake. That is not allowed.
Correct.
Employee A, let your city administrator know that was wrong. Since then, he has been retaliated on.
I don't agree with that statement.
How?
We actually welcomed the fact that Justin let
Well,
us.
then why did it take over a year for Justin to get any information that he requested? And I had to reach out to the DPO, and Casey Carmody told me that somebody using the ECPA to request a video that he is in, he has never heard of in almost 2 decades. He's never heard of a city administrator withholding data of a video that somebody is in. It's absurdity. It's absurdity, you know it, and you guys had the chance to stop it, and you've done nothing. You've put our family through hell. And Bob, I told you, pay attention to what happens next. When I asked you, what did you just do? You said, I did what was right. And I said, for who? Your family or mine? It has been hell since the day you decided to put him back on. And then I also told you in the parking lot, remember my children's faces when my husband is unemployed. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment during public discussion?
I would like to comment, one comment on that. I have no family that lives in Rice Lake. I have no family that lives in Rice Lake. So how is that benefiting whatever I did? I suggested appointment for someone who I thought was best fitted for the job. There's no question about it.
You also knew what that person has done to our family. And my
No, I don't.
initial response was,
No, I don't.
who is it for? Your family or mine? 'Cause you know what we've gone through.
That's enough for this.
Just remember my kids' faces, Bob.
Okay, we will move on to the consent agenda.
There she goes again.
There you go again.
There will not be any conversation from the floor. Okay,
Show some humility and apologize to the citizens of Rice Lake for your behavior the last 20 months. And especially in the parking lot, June 23rd.
Are you
You
kidding?
own that.
Are
Yes,
you
that
kidding?
is serious. It's a fact.
Listen,
okay.
those words show humility.
Done with this conversation.
Hypocrisy at its finest, city of Rice Lake.
Sarah,
Do something about it.
I'll do what I feel is appropriate.
Yeah, good should prevail.
Okay, consent agenda consists of the minutes from January 12th, 2026, our finance meeting, as well as the January 12th, 2026 council minutes. It also includes executed claims from January 13th, 2026 to January 26th, 2026, totaling $44,169.85. I assume you have all had a chance to review the minutes. Then I will look for a motion to approve the consent agenda unless there is an item that you would like pulled.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Also,
Counselor Johnson is the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports, utility update and reports. We have the monthly utilities update. Sure. Okay. You have it.
And this is for both December and January. So for the water, Minnesota Department of Health Safe Drinking Water Fee. We received notification from the Minnesota Department of Health that the 2025 Minnesota State Legislature passed a bill raising the annual free fee from $9.72 to $15.22 per water service connection. This is effective January 1st, 2026. They state this fee increase reduces the state's reliance on federal infrastructure funds, making more dollars available for local drinking water infrastructure projects. This is the first increase since 2019. Rice Lake bills this annually to all water customers on their August statements. So on August, everybody will see that increase. Sewer annual I&I and fog inspections. A total of 27 sewer lateral inspections were completed by Public Works utility staff in 2025, with 16 passing and 11 in need of repair. 8 of the repairs were completed in 2025. 2 will be repaired in spring of 2026, and 1 is paying the monthly non-compliance fee because there was no response or repair as of this date. 2025 fog, fats, oils, and grease inspections were completed for the businesses in Rice Lake listed as fog generators. All but 1 are in compliance. We will be addressing the non-compliance with the business and what steps must be taken to become compliant. Utility contractor training, an in-person training course run by city staff, is a new requirement for our annual utility contractor permit as of last year. The purpose of this training is to take the contractors through the current processes and requirements for connecting, disconnecting, repairing, or replacing sewer and water laterals that connect to our city mains. It also gives them the opportunity to meet the staff they will be working with. The 2026 training will take place on Wednesday, February 11th from 9 to 10 a.m. at City Hall. Emailed invitations were sent to previously permitted contractors on January 9th. Those unable to attend will receive a link to the recorded training in order to fulfill this requirement. And just to note, as of to date, we have 15 contractors that have confirmed they're coming. New utility rates, 2026 utility rates are in effect as of January billing, which I'm actually working on right now, with statements going out the last week of January. A note was included in the December statements letting residents know about the increase, and the new rates were also published in the January newsletter. In 2025 completed utility connections, we had 2 commercial and 3 residential connections to both sewer and water, 1 commercial and 2 residential connections to sewer only, and 1 residential connection to water only. This report was prepared by myself.
Thank you. Any questions for Robin? Okay, thank you, Robin. There is one counselor report from Counselor Hendrickson.
Yeah, so. Yeah, kind of been a while since we had met. I was able to get away and go on a short vacation and spend the holidays with the family and friends. And then just recently, Counselor Johnson and I were able to visit a resident, and they're having an issue with their neighbor. And so it's just nice to sit down with him and chat about what's really going on. How can we be of service to him and the situation, and see if that can be something that can be at least come to terms to agree on somewhat and live respectfully towards their neighbors. So I'll follow up with that one in the upcoming months. That was about it for me.
Although neither of you submitted a report, do you have anything you would like to report?
I attended DAT meeting, MIC meeting, and a planning commission meeting. We worked with staff on updating the utility meter system. Managed and inspected a ditching project on Fifth Avenue. Spent some time away during the holidays with them. Nice to relax.
I guess that's the last council meeting I attended, that meeting, planning and zoning meeting, and a MIC meeting also. I just wanted to mention a little bit about the fire department. awards banquet also. It was well attended, very nice dinner at Ridgeview Country Club. I was hoping that the fire chief would be here tonight, but maybe Carly can pass this on to him. Being in that room, you could feel the camaraderie in there. It was just in the air, the camaraderie between the members of that department. And as well as the pride of the families that were in attendance. It was very nice. And everybody looked so sharp. They're all dressed up in their dress uniforms, and I'm always impressed when I go to that. And I want to add that when you show up for a call and you get your go gear on, it's a whole different thing. You're at an event like that, and you put on your dress uniform. Feel free to stand tall. You deserve that pride, that appreciation that you get. We hear all kinds of stuff about complaints about how things are run in this town. People drive too fast, the roads are in bad conditions, their taxes are too high. I don't like roundabouts. We hear all this kind of stuff. You never hear an adverse word about the fire department, even though it's a very expensive thing to fund. Never do we hear anything bad about our fires. Wear that uniform proud, but you deserve.
Well said. All right, we have no new business this week, so we'll move on to second readings. We're going to jump forward a little bit to 10.8 as we have someone here to talk to us a little bit about that. The environmental assessment worksheet for Elite. Natalie, I believe you have some words.
Thank you. I'm Natalie White from SEH Engineering, and we're assisting Carly and the city with the review of the environmental assessment worksheet for Elite's proposed service center on Stepner Road north of the airport. And the decision before the council tonight on the need for an environmental impact statement based on the facts laid out in the environmental assessment worksheet, or EAW. So generally, we have compiled the comments received on the document while it was out for public comment. They're pretty minimal. Received comments from the MPCA, from the DNR, and from the State Historic Preservation Office, or the SHPO. The SHPO comment was they agreed with the finding of no historical properties affected, but is related to historical and cultural resources. The DNR had a couple of comments requesting an additional request for review for rare species, which was then submitted and already heard back that the DNR has no further concerns or comments on potential for rare plants or animals on the site. They also asked about land ownership if it shows in the DNR's land management system. And that's something that then in the response to comments, we acknowledge that further coordination with DNR is needed to make sure all leases for the site would be with the appropriate entities. And finally, the MPCA asked for some additional information about wastewater treatment on the site, which was provided in the EAW, and a little follow-up. The site will send wastewater to WLSSD for treatment, and any maintenance facility that might need pre-treatment ahead of sending will be designed appropriately. So that kind of sums up the comments received and the response to comments for the document. And I'm here to answer questions if you have any.
Also,
So no big issue with this project.
No, if anything, I would say, so the site has, as disclosed in the document, a little over 6 acres of wetland impact. It's not a small amount of wetland impact, but also the EAW outlines, alternative sites that were reviewed for the same development. And this site does minimize wetland impacts, while remaining a practical site for, the facility. So those impacts were both minimized, and then through the permitting process will be required to be mitigated through stormwater treatment on site and the purchase of wetland credits.
Arlene, Tony, are you okay with the documents?
Yeah, I reviewed the document and the comment, and the response to comments. And obviously I don't have the training that a lot of these folks that were involved in all of it documentation have. But in my understanding of it, it made sense to me, and I would agree that there isn't a need for an environmental impact statement.
Any further questions? Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. All right, so it's my understanding, Tony, on all of these resolutions tonight, we just need motion and voting. Well, then on resolution 10.8. 26-10, sorry. The resolution of a negative declaration for an environmental impact statement for Minnesota Power. Any discussion?
I just feel like these people have done this before. And if that's what their recommendation was, I do feel comfortable with that, knowing that everything is being followed after their responses to those questions. We've had a chance to read over this too, and I've had to deal with some wetland credits before, and if it's done right, we can definitely do that. And it sounds like their responses and everything were following the letter of the law. So I think, I'm okay with this.
Anyone else? I will look for a motion then to regarding resolution 26-10.
I'll make a motion for resolution 26-10, a negative declaration for an EIS for Minnesota Power.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Quaid has supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Now let's move back up to 10.1. 2026 annual agreements. We have SWCD service contract and Animal Allies service contract. Do these need separate motions?
No, you can do them as one if you like.
Are there any comments or questions regarding this? We did discuss all of these at our last meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2 annual service agreements.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Uh, 2026 summary budget. And we discussed this at the last meeting. Any comments or questions? Then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to support the 2026 summary budget.
Counselor Quaid has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the second. Any comments on this from the audience? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 2026 local government aid. Right, again, we discussed this at the finance meeting and at the last council meeting. Any further thoughts on this? I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2026 LG.
Counselor Johnson has made the motion. Do I hear support?
Support.
Counselor Quaid has seconded. Any comments or questions from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Capital Improvement Plan updates and discussed at both the finance and council meeting 2 weeks ago. Any further comments or questions on this? And I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital improvement plan updates.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Johnson has seconded. Comments or questions from the audience? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's see. We have resolution 26-03 designating council finance liaison. All one motion here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really that.
Resolution 26-05 designating depositories and corporate authorization. And resolution 26-09 appointment resolution. Again, discussed at our last council meeting. Anybody change their mind on what they want to do? Okay, then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 26-03, 26-06, 26-09,
05.
05. Need your glasses.
Okay, Counselor Johnson's made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Hendrickson has supported. Any comments or questions from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 26-07 adopting assessment. Again, discussed 2 weeks ago. Any comments or questions from the council? I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion to support resolution 26-07, resolution adopting assessment.
Counselor Quaid has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll support.
Counselor Hendrickson has seconded. Comments or questions from the audience? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 26-08, adopting assessment. Again, reviewed 2 weeks ago. Any comments or questions from the council? Then I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 26-08.
Counselor Johnson has made motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Counselor Quaid has seconded. Comments or questions from the audience? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Abstain.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Note that Counselor Hendrickson has abstained. 10.8, we have already covered. Records destruction. Now, Tony, I had a question on this one. I know at the last meeting when we talked about this, there was some talk about data requests. Have those been filled or have those files been pulled?
Those files have been pulled and I believe the request will be filled on Wednesday.
Okay,
Since review them, so, you watch and approve them. The destruction minus those documents until after they've been reviewed.
yeah, okay. Everybody get that? Any comments or questions from council? Then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to, the records destruction report. Regarding as long as those other, data requests are filled.
Okay, Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Johnson has seconded. All in favor, say, oh. Questions from the audience?
I do have a question. With bank statements, is there a reason why you don't keep them for 7 years? Because typical auditing would be 7 years.
Tony?
According to the state records retention schedule, which we have adopted, it is 6 years.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business, there is none. The February calendar. This Sunday is our winter frolic at the park from 1 until 3. It's a great time. Hopefully the temperatures are a little better than they were this past weekend. But there will be hot chocolate, cider, coffee, something to keep you warm. So if you have not attended in the past, I highly recommend it. It's a good time. Wednesday the 4th, we have Community Club at 6:30. On Monday the 9th, we have first council meeting at 6. Monday the 16th, we will be closed for President's Day. Tuesday the 17th, 6 o'clock, planning and zoning meeting here at City Hall. The 18th, 6:30 is the MIC meeting. Where is that this month?
I haven't looked that far ahead yet.
Okay,
It'll be someplace.
all right. Monday the 23rd, 5 o'clock, WLSSD. 6 o'clock, our second city council meeting here at City Hall. So like month next. Okay. Unless there's anything further we'd like to discuss, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.